Okay, so hello everyone. Happy Thursday. I want to thank you all for attending tonight. Looks like we should have a full crowd tonight, which is awesome. The beauty of this is that it allows me to address a lot of questions and concerns many of you have, and that we constantly receive on a daily. Just just the typical things. How much is the price? What's the process? Things like that. And I do apologize because a lot of the times I'm trying my best to get and reach to as many of you as I can, and sometimes it slips through the cracks. It goes days without responding, and so I just wanted to create this webinar to give everybody opportunity in which I can address all of you at once, so that we are all in the same group, we're all on the same page, that you now have a clear understanding of what's going on, and that we can further proceed in that method. So what I want to do, what I'd like to start off with is just a quick intro of exactly who we are. Who am I? So obviously I'm Sean Scales. I'm the owner of the company. Oryzon Credit has been around. God, we've been building a company since October of last year, but we've been live since February this year. Well, end of February, so beginning of March. So we really just been a little over 90 days, something like that. Um, the main reason for the company was just because it was a high demand. Like I noticed that there was a lot of people who needed this type of service and things like that, and a lot of people didn't even know it existed. So just because I want to help as many people as possible, just get people in better situations so they can have a better future and things like that. That's what really pushed me towards starting the company. And also I had a lot of signs, a lot of symbols, a lot of things that kept nudging me like, hey, this is what you need to do. So that's what really got me into it. But what I like to do on my phone calls with my clients, I do this with every one of my clients. Every time that they give me a call, whether I contact them or they contact me, the first thing that I always want to know is, what is your goals? What are your goals, and what is your current credit situation? I mean, someone with great credit is not really going to contact me, so I don't expect that. I always expect someone who has credit troubles, and so because of that, I I like to know what's going on with your past. When's the last time you looked at your report? What's your current score? Things like that, so that I can have a really good judgment, a real good assessment of what's going on with your case and how we can proceed. Because everyone's credit profile is absolutely different. There's no two credit profiles that are identical, because we are all different people, and so every case is different. Every score is different, and so I like to know exactly what's going on in those cases. But because we have a large crowd tonight, I can't sit here and ask every single person, how's your credit looking, and things like that. We'll be here all night. So that's something that we'll do at a later time. If those want to continue to proceed, I'll definitely find those goals and things out later on. But what I want to start off with is just playing a simple video. I'm not too sure how many of you have actually been to this website. So as you're looking at orizoncredit.com. So I'm going to play the video. This video is a minute long, extremely informative, and it's a great introductory tool. And so I just want to play this video for you guys. Watch it, pay attention, and then we'll just go from there. Let me know if you have any other questions, concerns. Type all your questions in the chat box. When we get to the end of the meeting, I'll definitely answer as many questions as possible. I just don't want to answer questions during the call, simply because it can make this take a lot longer than we wanted to. So we'll save that for the end. I'll get through this as quickly as possible, and then everyone will go about their nights. So here's a video. Enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions after.
Have you ever been denied credit? Or do you suffer from a low credit score that's hindered your basic needs? If you've been in any of these situations, then it must be a hard feeling for you, not to mention an embarrassing one at the same time. How amazing would it be if you could repair your credit score and allow it to open the doors to new opportunities for you? Life changing, right? We will help you repair your FICO credit score and make life easier for you so that you no longer have to worry. We are Oryzon Credit, a subscription based credit repair service that will help remove everything from collections, inquiries, late payments, bankruptcies, charge offs, etc. Anything that negatively impacts your credit score. With over 70 million Americans having below average credit, we aspire to provide a service that's not only going to repair credit, but repair your life. By working one on one with all of our clients, we strive to create a more genuine and solid base to make your credit good. With over 5 years of expertise at FICO, we're here not only to just repair your credit, but to give you and your family a chance to hit the reset button on your lives. Visit Visit OryzonCredits.com today.
Okay, awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Pretty cool cartoon. Um, so from that video, it pretty much sums up everything because a lot of people who come to us have a credit situation. They have some credit turmoil that has troubled them in the past. And yes, it can be embarrassing. It can be one that you don't want to share with people, things like that. And because of that, a lot of people don't seek advice. A lot of people don't even reach out to see if this situation can be resolved. So you hold on to this and you deal with this troubling credit for years, not even just months. It's years and years because negative items on your credit profile don't fall off overnight. Most items take 7 years. And then there's most items like bankruptcies and things like that that will take 10 years. So those things could definitely be damaging to your credit for years on end. These things can prevent you from um, purchasing a new home, which is mainly everyone's objective, but leasing a new vehicle, getting an apartment, applying for credit cards, retail cards, anything like that. Like having bad credit can definitely prevent you from a lot of things. But I'm not going to school you guys on that because a lot of people already know that. But having troubled credit, it really hurts you in the long run as far as like interest rates and things like that. Like say, for instance, we'll just talk about auto loans really quick. A lot of people need cars. Everyone needs a car for the most part. And people who have good credit usually get a car with no down payment. They have a really good interest rate and everything's fine. They're happy with that. People who have bad credit situations, now they have a high APR. We're talking about somewhere from 14 to 17%. And then they usually have they have a large down payment that's required and it takes a long process. Your credit shopped around, so you see tons of inquiries because you try to buy a vehicle and things like that. So those things definitely hurt you in the long run because now you're paying a lot more money over time due to interest and just things of that nature. So trust me when I say that, as the video said, 70 million Americans have below average credit. So you being one of them is not a bad problem. The fact that you are here today to even learn more shows that you already have the desire to proceed in the right direction. So, but like I said, so what I want to do, I want to tell you about who am I first. I'm Sean Skills, the owner of the company. Prior to starting the company, I worked for FICO. So I actually worked for the Fair Isaac Corporation. I was there for 5 years. I was an accountant there. Got into the credit repair business mainly because while at FICO, I constantly was asked by families and friends, hey, can you fix my credit? Can you change my score? Anything like that. All of those things we absolutely do not do at FICO. Those things are directly from the credit bureaus. And the three major credit bureaus are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They are the ones who are in charge of your credit report as well as your credit score. At FICO, we are the originators of the credit score. So we developed the FICO, we developed the algorithms and the things like that, the scoring models that we sell to the three major credit bureaus that use them to calculate your score. So that's why, I mean, that was the biggest thing. I didn't work for the credit bureau, so it's like that wasn't something I do there. But because I was being asked about it so much and so frequently, so often, I was like, hey, maybe this is something I need to look into due to the simple fact that a lot of people actually need it. And this was just from close family and friends. And so I was just like, okay, maybe I can figure this out, help family and friend members out. But then as I started digging more into it, I saw that there was just a massive amount of people who were struggling with credit. And the main reason why people struggle with credit is because 99% of people of the American population has no idea how credit even works, how your score is calculated, what do you need to do to maintain good credit, what negative items affect your credit, how deeply, because we've never been taught it. So you're not at fault. So it's like we all grow up and you just get told, hey, when you turn 18 years old, start applying for credit. That's what we're all taught. That's how we grew up. Hopefully our generation after us, our children, have a better understanding of credit. And because I think our generation now is a lot more aware about it, and so I think we will pass that down to our kids a lot easier versus how our parents did it to us. But with credit, we were never educated on it, so we have no idea of how it even operates and things like that. So that's why I'm here today. So I'll just briefly give you a rundown of credit, exactly what it is, what type of things affect your score, why your score is where it's at, and we'll go from there. So the information that I'm going to take is directly from Experian. Experian is probably the largest credit bureau, uh, and it's the one that the new FICO model is geared towards. The new FICO 8 score is from Experian, and so that's the one that 90% of lenders are currently using. So if you apply for an auto loan, a mortgage loan, credit cards, that score that you get from your FICO score from Experian is usually the score that they're going to see. And so that's the score that we always want to get to and get a really good idea, because a lot of people come to us saying like, "Hey, I have Credit Karma. My Credit Karma says my credit score is a 630, but then they sign up and we see their actual FICO score and it's like a 570. So it's like, the reason why there's variances is mainly because there's different score calculations based on who the lender and who the provider is, because they look at specific things that are desirable to them. So they want to match and pinpoint little things that they're looking for from a client of that nature. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Experian really quickly, and just to see what makes up your credit score. So as you can see right here, this again is directly from Experian's website. 35% of your FICO score comes from your payment history. I cannot emphasize this enough. Your payment history impacts your credit score more than you believe. So one late payment is damaging. If you just get one late payment, it really kills your score. And a lot of people say like, hey, like I have this one late payment, but I wasn't really late. I paid a couple days late. That's really hard to buy, because creditors and lenders will only report a 30-day late 30 days after your payment due date was due. So it's like if you are late even 2 weeks, they're not going to report it. It's when you've hit 30 days after your due date. So today was, if you were supposed to pay your bill today on June 25th and you pay it on July 4th, they're not going to report a late payment. But if you pay it on July 26th, then they're going to hit you with a 30-day late. So, and that one late payment can do damage, especially to an auto loan as well as a mortgage loan. Credit card lenders are typically fairly easily on getting those removed, but mortgage and auto, those will definitely bring down your score in a heartbeat. You'll be surprised at how quickly it does that. And so a lot of people don't understand is that that's just from one late payment. If you have multiple late payments, and we're talking about multiples in a row like 30, 60, 90, 120, when you start doing that back to back to back, your score is driving down left and right. And a lot of clients, and I understand that at times people get in situations where the unexpected happens, and you may have lost your job, or your spouse lost their job, or you had a medical condition, something came up. Like, I understand life happens. I empathize with you all the time. And those type of things, because you fall behind, you don't have any, you have no financial means to pay your bills, and next thing you know, you are overwhelmed with debt, and you have all these late payments. These late payments become charge-offs, and your score went from a 730 to now a 490 in about 60 to 90 days, and you don't know what's going on. And that's usually how it happens. And like I said, it's because your payment history is as it says right there from Experian, it's the most significant factor that determines your FICO score and your payment history. So that means that no matter what, whenever you're doing whatever it is for your credit, pay your bills on time. That's the biggest and best way to make sure that your credit stays well, because the minute you fall behind, the minute you fall in a deeper hole, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. The next one we'll go into is 30% of your FICO score is based on the amount owed. So this means the debts that you have, and it refers to your utilization rate. So utilization rate, let's explain this really quickly. Utilization rate is how are you utilizing the credit that you have. If someone gives you $1,000 credit limit, you never want to exceed 30% of that balance, meaning you never want to spend more than $300. Once you cross that $300 mark, you're overutilizing that card. FICO will take it as a red flag, and they will penalize that for you. So a lot of people will max out a credit card, get to say, if it's $1,000, will spend $900. Like, they, in their mind, they say, hey, I still have $100 left, but you've exceeded 90% of that balance. And so that definitely kills your credit score. So you always want to be 30% utilization rate of all your cards. So not just only one card, all your cards need to be that. So if your balance, if you have $20,000 in debt, You want to make sure that you're 30% within that range. Do not be $15,000. Do not get credit limits of $20,000 and then you have $15,000 in debt. It's going to look extremely bad. That's 75%. Extremely, extremely bad. Um, the next percent is 15% is your FICO score. 15% of your FICO score is your length of your credit history. This is what we call the AAOA, which is the average age of accounts. FICO really, really does reward people who have long credit history. Obviously, we know people who start off as new minors, 18 years old, first getting credit, they have a very short credit history versus someone who's 45, 50 years old who has 20 or 30 years of credit history. Their credit may look better as long as they're keeping it in good condition. Um, what I like to hit on for this average age of account is average age of accounts can help you if you have bad credit. In some cases, the average age of account, some people who have negative credit, bad credit, they have old accounts. I mean, 8 years old. And some of you may relate to this. You have accounts that are 8 years old, 10 years old. They've been closed. They're very old charge-off accounts. And it's like you want them gone. Yes, we want them deleted because the charge-off account is never good. But at the same time, at the very same time, these things, they're helping you because they extend the average length of your credit history. So you now look like you have 10 years of credit. And so in some cases, when we're repairing credit and we're removing negative items, we actually will delete the history. And because of that, some clients see a score drop. Now, a score drop is essentially something that we never want to see. But the reason why that happens is because, like I said, we're giving you a second start. And by wiping off your credit history, it will remove that average age of account. And so you now go from maybe 12 years of your average age of history to 3 years. 3 years is a lot lower and definitely doesn't look as great for the 15%, but to a lender, it looks a lot better. So, but that's the three things that I want to point on that. I don't want to dive into that because, like I said, I'm not trying to take too much time tonight. I want to focus more on what my company does, but I just want to give you a very, very quick and broad just summarization of how your credit works. So let's really talk about good credit versus bad credit. Good credit starts off at 720. That's where you want to get to. 720, the average credit score in America is I want to say about 650 to 680. That's the average credit score. But once you hit the 720 mark is where we all want to be. You now qualify for very good loans. That's something that we all want to get to. The score ranges start off at 300, go all the way to 850. The higher the better, the lower the worse. So that's really all I want to touch on for as far as FICO scores and things like that. So let's talk about Oryzon credit and credit repair because that's why you're all here. You don't really care about credit so much, but want to know how to fix credit that you have. So credit repair and what I do, what my company does, we specialize in credit removal. There's tons of credit repair companies out there who do different things. There's debt consolidators. There's credit companies who just shift debts, who try to juggle things around so that they cover blemishes, things like that. For us, we focus purely on credit removal. And what that means is negative items that are on your report, derogatory items, does not matter what it is. We're talking anywhere from inquiries, late payments, charge-offs, to bankruptcies, tax liens, um, does not matter what it is. If it's hurting your credit score, what we focus on is trying to get it off as quickly as possible. Because as long as those negative items are there, it is going to be extremely challenging for you to get credit anywhere else. That's just how it goes. These negative items definitely will always bring your score down. So what we do is we provide credit coaching. We coach you and educate you on how credit works. That is what we want to start off with so you have a better and broader understanding of what's going on. But as far as the removal process goes, we take a really aggressive approach with the credit bureaus, with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. We contact the bureaus on your behalf. So as a power of attorney, we're reaching out to them on your behalf, and we're telling them, like, there's information on my report that I want verified, that I want, and if you can't verify it, I want it removed. And so we take specific approaches, use specific verbiage, and things of that nature that aids us in getting these items removed. Now, getting things removed from your report is not as easy as you would think. I mean, obviously, because if that was the case, everybody would be doing it. Everybody have a clean credit report. The credit bureaus are not that easy to persuade that, hey, this account should be deleted. But with persistence and constantly on the ball, keeping track of your mail, your emails, and things like that, we can definitely nudge the credit bureaus to get these items removed. Because by law, the FCRA requires that the credit bureaus and your credit report be 100% accurate, not 99.9, nothing like that. It has to be 100% accurate. And if there are any inaccuracies, any misleading information, anything of that nature, by law, the credit bureaus have to remove it. So what we do is we dispute all this information. We look at your reports and we see that anything that's hindering you and anything that we can take to the bureaus to get this removed is that we're going to contact them and tell them to verify this information. The FCRA forces the bureaus to investigate any dispute that we submit to them, and they have 30 to 45 days to complete this. Now, within that 30 to 45 day time frame, what they're doing is they're going to reach out. So we would contact them. So this is just a really good summary. We contact them and tell them, hey, I need you to verify this collection from ABC Collections. And I want all of the details, the date it was open, the date it was closed, what the balance is, who's the original creditor. I want everything. And so what the credit bureaus have to do is, what they're going to do is now they communicate with ABC Collections. They're going to reach out and they're going to tell ABC Collections, like, hey, I need you to verify this account. ABC Collections has within that same 30-day time frame to get back to the bureau. If they do not get back to them within that time frame, by law, the credit bureaus will remove the item. It'll be deleted directly off your profile, and that's how you see these credit reports and these results that we're posting has deletions everywhere left and right. And it's mainly because the information couldn't be verified. But then, as you see, there's some items that do get verified where the bureau will come back and they'll say, hey, we actually verified this account. It belongs to this, that, and the other. So when that happens, we then take a second approach in which we now reach out to the bureaus and we give them a much more stricter approach where we're now, hey, I need method of verification and things like that. So it gets much deeper as we proceed. But that's really how the process works. And with us, we do all of the work for you. So we are not here to say, hey, I need you to go fill out these reports. I need you to get your profiles. I need you to file your dispute. I need you to mail this. We do all of that for you. So you do not have to worry about that because we know that you don't have time to do so. You have your family to worry about. You have your job. You have this, that, and the other. So with us, we're constantly trying to accommodate you as much as possible. So all that we do ask from you is to always keep us in the loop. I cannot emphasize enough that by not constantly keeping us engaged slows the process up tremendously. And what I mean by this is that the credit bureaus, they want to talk to you. So let's say you're Jane Doe. They want to talk to Jane Doe. They do not want to talk to Sean Scales from Oryzon Credit. They don't know who Sean Scales is. But Jane Doe submitted them a dispute. So they're always going to talk to you. They're going to mail you. They're going to email you. You don't have to respond. What we do ask for you to do is to let us know. Whenever you receive this information, always forward it to us. Take a picture with your phone. You can text it to us. You can email it to us. Whatever it may be, always let us know. One second, please. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. But yes, as far as that goes, that's how the process really works. Because a lot of people ask, how do you do this? What is going on? Exactly how do you get things removed? It's as simple as that. All that we're doing is contacting the bureaus to ask them to verify specific information. But the methods that we are taking, the approach that we are taking, the aggressiveness that we are doing is what leads to these results. It gets these negative items removed left and right, and that essentially gets to people having better credit profiles. Some people see instant credit score increases, and that's just usually how it goes. Every case is different. No one is the same, and it really breaks down just like that. Now, next thing I want to talk about is how long does the process take? because that's another question of concern. Because a lot of people see that it is a monthly subscription type of thing, so they want to know how long is this going to take. The process minimum, very, very minimum, takes 3 months. Just based on what we've seen, that's that's the least that it's going to take. I can't sit here and say, hey, you're going to be done in 30 days, you'll be done in 60 days. I don't know when you'll be done. It could be 9 months. I absolutely do not know because every credit profile is different. And so some people see instant results. Some people get things deleted within the first 30 days. I've had a client get everything deleted in 7 days. But that does not happen for everybody. We do take the same method of approach for everybody, though. So we are acting just as aggressively for you as we did for them. But again, the process will take a minimum of 90 days. By 90 days, you have seen drastic changes. You have seen your score go up. You have seen negative items fall off left and right. And you see that your score, your credit profile is just a lot different from what it was 90 days ago. Now, do I mean that you're going to be done in 90 days? Absolutely not. I do not know that. If you are, we will definitely let you know, like, hey, you only have like one or two things left. We should be closing up pretty soon. But if we see that not much is going on, or it's just a lot tougher than it is, then we'll just keep proceeding. But we'll always let you know what's going on with your case, so that way you're not in the dark. So that's our biggest thing. Um, what's the next thing I want to? Okay, so let's jump into just a couple things that I've been dealing with, and a lot of people have been saying this. There's this new FICO score that came out on June 1st. This new FICO model, and this is what I was referring to earlier. This right here, the new FICO model, the new FICO 8, came out on June 1st, and it's impacted people tremendously. And the reason why, a lot of people have been seeing that their scores have been dropping. And when it comes to credit repair, that's one of the last things that we want to happen. We never want to see a client score drop, but there are times when it happens, but you will always rebound from it because you can never, never, never have your score drop and be a negative thing because negative things are being removed. Negative things being removed from your credit profile are always a good thing. All it does not matter. But a lot of people who experience score drops is mainly because they don't have any positive credit. A lot of people who come to us just have tons of negative credit. They'll come to us with 15, 20 negative accounts and have zero positive accounts, or maybe just one auto loan. So you have one positive thing compared to 20 negatives. So when that happens, your negatives outweigh that positive so much. And even if we delete 50% of that in the first 30 days, your negatives are still outweighing that one positive. And it just so happens those negatives that we might have deleted may have been old accounts that had good average age of account. So, in a sense, yes, we deleted negative things, and you would think that, hey, my score should have gone up, but you probably went from 8 years of great history to you may have 2 years credit history. So it's like there's multiple variables. These are things that are out of our control, things that we can't control. But a lot of people say, well, then, if that's the case, if these accounts are old and they aren't really hurting my score as much, they're actually helping me, why not just leave them there? Mainly because a charge off is a charge off. Does not matter if it is helping you or not. Because if you go apply for a loan or apply for a credit card and they pull your credit report, they see a charge off. Lenders have all agreed that they would rather have a client with short credit history, a clean slate, and a low credit score versus someone with a long credit history and has multiple negatives and a higher credit score. Because I've had a client who had a 600, like a 620 credit score, and once we started repairing her credit, we've gotten tons of negative things removed. Her score actually dropped to a 580. And I mean, she's furious, she's upset, we feel bad for her, but it's not something we can do because to the client, to you, to the consumer, all that you guys know about is just credit scores. You guys don't really know the back end of how credit profiles work. You guys don't know that there's things that you have to do to build a score. Because a lot of people come into this with a misconception that, oh, I signed up for credit repair. I have a 490 credit score right now, but Sean is going to delete these things and blah, blah, blah. And in 60 days, I should have a 670. I should have a 700. But you don't have any credit cards. You don't have any active lines of credit. You don't have any loans, no student loans, no installment accounts, no mortgage loans. You don't have these things. And because of that, even if I delete these things, your score doesn't really move like you want it to move. It's going to be stagnant. A really good analogy that I like to use is just planting a seed in your backyard to grow this huge redwood tree. If you plant the seed in your backyard and you don't water it, you don't give it any food, no nutrients, it gets zero sunlight. You can't get mad if you walk out there in a year and you still just see a seed in the ground. You've done nothing to help this tree grow. And that's the same thing with your credit score. You cannot have years of bad credit and just get things deleted and expect your score to just go up without you really aiding to your score to get there. FICO right now with the new model, they are rewarding people with good credit, punishing people with bad credit. It is that simple. So that's why I encourage people to, once we're removing things, once things are getting deleted, when you start getting these pre-approvals in the mail, it is now time to start applying for credit because they're telling you you are now desirable. Now we need you to get you credit cards. Now we need you to get you an auto loan. We need to get these things going so that way, yes, if you want to buy a home in a year, you've now shown that in 12 months, I now have 4 or 5 credit cards. My credit score is looking so much better. I can handle credit. It's just a lot better. That's just one thing that we like to focus on and try to get people to get a really good grasp of, because a lot of people come to this again just thinking my credit score is low. I want to get, like, how do I get to a 700? And it's like, I can coach you to get to a 700, but me deleting things is not really what's going to happen. But I have clients, because I will post results where there's clients who get to a 700, especially even after 30 days. But the reason why those clients have that type of result is because they usually come to us with about like a 625 credit score, and they have a couple collections. They have like 4 or 5 collections. They have a charge off, and they might have some like a late payment, but they have 10 to 12 positive accounts. Like they got several loans, things like that. So they do have good credit. So once we remove these negatives off their profile, it's like their score blossoms. Like FICO loves it because all of that negative weight is now lifted, and now your positive is just skyrocketing. So again, that's really how credit works. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't know about that. A lot of people just say like, hey, I just need a credit score because I need to get a credit card. I need to get a loan. I need to get an apartment. I need to get I want to buy a house. These things, but you have to do specific things to get your score up. Think about the gym. Like, you can sit there on a couch all day and say, you know what, I want to be fit, or I want to be extremely buff. I'm gonna go to the gym today. And you actually go to the gym, but you don't lift a single weight. You're standing there for an hour. You go home, you eat Cheetos, and then you eat a hot dog, and you have a soda. And you wonder why your credit score is. I mean, you wonder why you're not getting buff, or you're not getting fit, you're not getting toned. And it's the same thing with your credit score. Just because this reference people who say I don't want credit cards. I don't like credit cards. Well, that's the same thing with the gym. If you don't have credit cards, which is the best way to get a good credit score, if you don't have these things, then your score is just not going to go up. It's really that simple. And so I try to get my clients to understand that, yes, I know in the past you messed up with credit cards, but you've learned from that now. Let's clear this off. Let's give you a second chance. And now you start applying for credit and you get to that point. Prime example, I had a client come to me. She came to me at the end of February. She's been very, very persistent. She was a client who didn't trust me at all. She didn't trust credit repair companies, didn't think positive about it at all. She came to me, several judgments. She had endless amount of collection accounts. She had late payments, this, that, and the other. Her credit score was a 525. So as of today, I just spoke to her yesterday, and she's been approved for 2 credit cards in the last 2 weeks, an American Express and a Chase signature. Her Chase signature actually was a loan. She actually got approved for $6,000 instantly. I'm talking about someone in just the end of February couldn't get approved for. I think she couldn't get approved for $1 at the bank. I mean, it was bad. Her situation was so bad. But she came to me. She did exactly what I told her to do. She was patient, and her life is completely different today. She has a much higher credit score. Again, as I said, I think she has 1 late payment left. We had 1 late payment with her BMW, and that's it. And she's completely done. It's been almost 4 months for her. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. It's not going to happen overnight. Because a lot of people come to this thinking, hey, wipe my credit off, or we're going to be done in 30 days. Absolutely not. It does not work like that. Because we're talking about trying to clear off years of bad credit. It does not happen overnight. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of fight. But it is very, very possible. You will be surprised of how much your life changed from today and 90 days from now. Now, with all of that said and done, because I just want to wrap this up, I don't want to talk too much longer. I want to get to these questions that you guys may have. Let's get right into pricing because this is a huge, huge, huge deal for a lot of people. This is probably the biggest question that we get all the time. How much does it cost? Credit repair companies charge lots and lots of money to repair credit, mainly because it is one, an extremely difficult task, and two, it takes a lot of time. The average client takes about an hour per bureau. So we're looking at about 3 hours per client. And then we got to do tons of follow up. So it is a very, very, very tedious job because especially it's dealing with your credit. So we have to fine print, 5 point everything. But when I created this company, I did not do it with the mindset of this is for money. I didn't care so much about money for this thing because I knew in the end money would take care of itself. I did this because I wanted to make it as affordable as possible so that enough people can have a better life. That was why I priced it what it is. The pricing. Our pricing starts off where our main deal is our premium package. As you see right here, it's $59 a month. However, there's a $99 setup fee. This is a subscription based model. This $99 setup fee covers your first 30 days. Now, with that being said, is if you signed up today, you would pay $99 after we received your documents and we started the work, we've gotten your disputes done, and we sent them out. It will be $99 today. On July 25th, if you choose to continue, if you want us to still provide you assistance, still provide you service, it is now $59 a month. This is month to month. We do this as a non-contractual obligation type of deal where you are in complete control. It is just like a cell phone bill. You can cancel at any time. We're not going to penalize you for it. If you are happy with the results after the first 30 days, you can cancel after 30 days. It does not matter. It is entirely up to you to run the show. But it is $99 to start, $59 a month. If we also have a deal for our spouse and partners in which we will remove $50 if someone signs up with a partner. If you sign up with a friend, a family member, your husband, wife, etc., does not matter. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, does not matter. If you sign up with a partner, it's $150 to start. That's $75 per person, so $25 off each. But it is $118 a month, and that is because that's the $59 per person, and this is because we have to manage two profiles. It's just that's how it works. We're taking care of two different clients, even though you two are maybe wed together and things like that. It is two separate profiles. So, and you guys have different credits, so we have to manage both. So that's why it's $118 a month. But again, that's $75 per person, $150 to start, and that's a spouse. The premium is our ideal package. What we charge is pennies to the dollars what other competitors charge. Other credit repair companies right now charge a minimum of $300 per item deleted. A lot of these credit repair companies are charging, they do pay per deletion. And pay per deletion is really good because what they like to say is, hey, we guarantee that we will delete negative items. And what they do is they'll charge, like, hey, for a collection item, it'll be $300. For a public record, say for instance a bankruptcy or a tax lien judgment, something like that, they will charge $500 to start off. So you come into this and they say pay per deletion. Say they delete two collections and a judgment. Now we're talking about two collections is $600 and the judgment is $500, and they do that in 30 days. It's $1,100 you have to pay them now. And a lot of people, so that's how a lot of credit repair companies do it. They do pay per deletion because they want to give you the sense of security that, hey, we're going to do tons of work. We're going to make you happy. We're going to delete these items, and they will charge you a pretty penny for it. My company, we're going to delete the same item. Does not matter. But we charge you if I delete your bankruptcy in 30 days, you got a bankruptcy deleted for $99, the price that someone would charge $500 plus. So what we're trying to get people to get a grasp of is we are charging nothing compared to what the average credit repair company is charging. And again, the reason why I did this is because I want to help as many people as possible. I could charge a lot more, but I did not want to do that because I know that it's for people who need credit repair, they can't afford that type of price. And that's the last thing I want to be is another financial burden to somebody. So I tried to make it as affordable as possible so that way many more people could do it. They will refer their family and friends who need it, and it just keeps going. So that's why that's our pricing. Hopefully that explains it to you. If you still have questions about that, I definitely will address that. But the keynote about pricing, as I said, we've been doing this for some time. We have tremendous results. We see the work that it takes. We have to expand. Because of that, what the market now demands, our pricing is going up. I know that is the last thing people want to hear, but it is very true. We will be increasing rates very soon. We do not have a specific date at the moment, but it will be happening soon. When that time comes, hopefully it's still affordable for many people. But yes, there will be different pricing packages. We still will have the month-to-month basis, but we will be bringing on a now one-time fee where clients will pay a much larger fee, but they are now our platinum value customer where they get the best treatment. They're going to get expedited service. We're going to try to get their process done a lot quicker. But that's going to come at a very, very hefty penny. And that's because, again, this takes so much work. Um, Originally, I didn't think it was going to be this engaging as it is, but it is extremely time consuming. So we do have to find other avenues in which we can accommodate people and as well as make us be successful and profitable because we are a for-profit company. But we have to do these things in which we are increasing our rates. So again, we do apologize in advance, but it's just how things go. It's supply and demand. Right now, we have a huge demand in which we're getting to the point we have a waiting list at the moment in which we're receiving tons of clients. Like I said, we have a full room tonight where we can't really try to get to everybody, and it's just going to continue to grow. And with that, it's going to lead to a lot of different things. And we're always going to try to improve our system and try to improve our advancement so that we can help your situation get you done quicker because we know the things that you're trying to do. We know that there are goals you're trying to achieve, and we hope to get you there as quickly as possible. And so that's what I would say about pricing. The do-it-yourself, really quick to touch on, $99. That's a one-time fee. That's our program. We do have a program that we have in which you can purchase. This is entirely for you. It's $99 if you want to repair your own credit. You don't want to pay us a monthly fee and things like that. If you want to sit down and go through your credit report yourself and see these negative things, yes, you can do that yourself. Pay the one-time $99 fee. We will give you our system that we use so you can do it yourself. And yeah, you can do it at your own time. Entirely up to you. But that being said, what I like to do now is now open the lines to questions that we're receiving through the chat. Your audios are all off, so we won't be able to hear you, but we'll read these questions, try to get these done as quickly as possible. Hopefully we can wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Just want to tackle some frequently asked questions, and then we'll just go from there. But yeah, so thank you all for attending, and definitely let's see what's going on. So, okay. So as far as questions go, and so we did turn off the monitor just so that we can. Actually, I'll turn this back on. I do apologize. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, so screen's back on. Apologize about that. So the first question I have is, should I pay my debts, my balances? Um, Great question. Very, we get it a lot, and that's mainly because a lot of people say like, I have, I have a couple collection accounts on my credit. I have about like 6 or 7 accounts. Can I just pay them off and will my score be okay? Yes and no. The reason why I say this is because paying your debts only does one thing. It removes your debt balance. Now, again, that's 30% of your score. Like FICO says, your balance is 30%. However, if this is a closed account that you're about to pay this debt on, so this is an account that's like maybe 3-4 years ago, it's about $500 you got to pay. This account is not helping you at all. So if you pay this debt, it's only going to reduce your debt, but it does not help you because it's not an active account. It's not something you're actively using. It's not current. So all you're doing is really just cutting a check for $500 to reduce your debt. But that negative item is already there. Once it's placed on your credit report, the damage is done. Simple as that. Does not matter if you pay the debt off or not. The damage is done. Like, say for instance, you cut yourself with a knife. And I don't advise anybody to do that. But say you cut yourself with a knife, like you're cutting and blah blah, you cut yourself. Yes, you can clear it up, you can clean it, you can put a band-aid on it and do this, that, and the other to heal it. And eventually over time it's going to heal, but the damage has been done. You might now have a cut on your arm, you got a scar, whatever it may be. That damage has been done. You can't do anything about that. And that's the same thing with debts, or collection accounts, charge-offs accounts, things like that. Just because you pay it does not mean it's going to go away. You can talk to the creditors or the collection agency and ask them. You can say, can we do a pay per deletion? We'll even help you with that. If that's the route you want to take, that's something we do at the very last end. That's something that we want to resort to at the end. But yes, we can. If we see that they won't budge and won't delete the item on their own, they really want a payment, then it's like, yeah, like, okay, we'll make a payment to you, but you have to promise us that you're going to remove the item from my profile once I do. Because again, that damage is done. It's not helping you whatsoever. So always, so in a sense, I'm not encouraging you to not pay your debts. By law, I can't tell you to do that because absolutely illegal. Pay your debts, pay them on time. I encourage that. That's what we push. Pay your debts. But if the account is owed and you do not know if you should pay it or not, they're not pursuing you about the debt. It's past statute of limitations. Statute of limitations pretty much means that a certain time frame based on the state that you're in, that a company or a lender or a creditor can actually pursue you about the debt and sue you in court. So in the state of California, it's 4 years. So what that pretty much means that if the debt is older than 4 years and they're not really knocking on your door to pay, they can't really say, Jane Doe, you know what? They can't contact you 6 years. If the debt is 6 years ago, they can't contact you today. Like, hey, you need to pay us or we're going to take you to court. They can't do that. The statute of limitations already passed. They have 4 years from the date the account went negative to do so. If they have not, oh well, they're bad. So we try to get that negative item removed. Hopefully you can save money in your pocket. We don't have to cut that check. That's something that, like I said, may be the last resort, but you never know. Next question. As you can see on my screen, because someone asked me as well, as you can see here, it says, should I file for bankruptcy? I'm not a bankruptcy attorney, so I can't specifically say yes or no. Bankruptcy, though, can be a good thing for some people. I encourage bankruptcies for people who have recent credit turmoil. I mean, something like you may have just lost your job, and because of that, your car is up for repossession. You are falling behind on all of your loans. Your credit cards they're knocking down the doors, collectors left and right. I mean, something just happened in the last year, and it's just bad. That's when you may want to pursue bankruptcy, because bankruptcy is not as bad as many people think. A lot more people have a bankruptcy than you would believe. Filing for bankruptcy, what a bankruptcy does, it pretty much wipes off all of your debts. That's exactly what it does. Whatever debts that you currently owe and you want to put on your bankruptcy, a Chapter 7 bankruptcy will wipe that completely off. So now you owe nobody, which is a good thing. Like I said, if you're in a position in which it's just extremely tough right now and it just recently happened, that's the route I really encourage people to possibly go. We can definitely try credit repair, but the thing with credit repair, say if all these things happen and your credit just got closed and things like that, doing credit repair, it's a lot easier for these accounts to be verified, like, because it just happened. So the bureaus are going to reach out to them like, hey, is this account really belongs to this person? Does it this and other? Provide these details, and they'll have it right away because something just happened 30 days ago. So that's where it's like it's really hard for people who want credit repair, and the situation just might have happened. Like there's other routes that you might want to take, but yeah, it's pretty much it. Um, Next question I have is uh, sorry, let's see. Oh, someone says, do I have to continue in the program? Um, Oh, it says, do I have to continue in a program even though, so the way that it's written, I apologize. Do I have to continue in a program even though things are removed, but I still want a higher score? No. I just, because we are a credit repair. I'm here to repair your credit. So it's like, say we get your items removed, your score, it's like cleared off. You have no negative items anymore. You have one or two things. Do you need to still be enrolled? No. Again, it's entirely up to you. We can coach you, but this is something we can coach you for absolutely free. We will let you know, like, hey, you just need to start applying for credit cards. You need to get you a loan, get approved for something, and then that way it'll just build it. You'll be surprised at how quickly your score goes and things of that. And so that's pretty much that. This question is, how quickly do I see results or my score go up? Score is going up. Again, this references back to earlier. Scores going up depends entirely on what type of credit you currently have. You do not see score increases right away. Negative accounts being removed are always a good thing, but if you don't have any credit, no positive credit, no active credit, there's a possibility you don't see the score increase you're hoping for right away. But credit repair, and with FICO, even FICO says it on Experian. They say that if you get negative items removed within 3 to 6 months, you will see your score rebounds. So it's like a lot of people say, hey, you've deleted 6 or 7 items on my credit, but my score didn't go up. Like, why not? And that's the first 30 days. When we remove things, the first cut is always the deepest. So as soon as we start removing things, that first month, you'd be surprised how many things fall out left and right. But then the second month, the third month, these sticky things, not much may happen because it gets much, much tougher. But your score is going to take time. Like you have to understand, you've had trouble credit for years, and because of that, that credit is just stagnant. It's just there. And so when you remove so many negative items at once, it's like a shock to your credit score. So your score now has to be recalculated. You get now put into a new scorecard with a new group, with other types of people who have similar credit to you. And if their credit score is like a 650, you will eventually get there, and you will get there very soon. But that's how it is. Credit repair is about patience. You have to be extremely patient. You have to sit there and just let it work its course. Does not happen overnight. I wish I could snap my fingers and make your credit profile, your credit be exactly how you want it to be the next day. It does not happen like that. It definitely takes time. It's something that is challenging, but it is doable. I'm going to do two more questions, and then we'll get out of here. Next question says, I've had my credit repaired once before in the past, but nothing ever happened. Is the same thing going to happen with your company? Again, uh, every case is different. And whoever tried to repair your credit, whether it was yourself or if you had someone help you, um, they may have did a different approach where nothing may have happened. It wasn't effective. I do not know. I'm sorry, but for us, we, like I said, our results show that we know what we're doing. Whether people are really happy right away or not, that's a different story. But our method is extremely good. The method that we've been doing is from people who've been repairing credit for 20 plus years. They know exactly what they're doing. We know the laws of the FCRA, the sections that protect you as the consumer and lets it be able to where you can do the things that you need to do with your credit. You'd be surprised at how much the FCRA really protects you and forbids the bureaus from doing some of the things that they do. You'd be amazed. But yeah, as far as what has happened in the past for you, we will do our absolute best to make sure that your credit is fine. Like I said, we take the same aggressive approach. People who come to us from, like, say, even Lexington Law, we have tons of clients who have come over to us who were with Lexington Law. People who say they were with Lexington Law for over a year. Lexington Law charges a lot of money. And for you to be with them for a year, someone came to me and said in 1 year they only removed 5 negative items. I removed 5 negative items in 30 days. Again, this is case by case, but to hear 5 years for 1 year, absolutely amazing. I can't believe that. But and then people come to us from Lexington Law and they're extremely happy because they see like something that it took me 30 days to do, but it took them forever at Lexington Law. So again, every case is different. We do our absolute best. We will try our best to help you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Last question, which is the last one to wrap it up. It says that um, sorry, trying to get it going. Getting a more. I want to buy my first house, but my credit score is a 560, and I don't have much credit. How soon can I buy a home? Buying a home is the best thing that you can do for your credit. Having a mortgage loan is does not get any better. You definitely want to get to a mortgage loan. You have to have strong credit. And you can't have any negatives. Simple as that. It's the toughest loan to get. So if you have 6, 7, 10 plus negative items, you definitely got to get the negatives off before you can try to get a mortgage loan. A lot of people have a good job right now where they can afford they have the income to get a mortgage loan, but they don't have the credit. Yeah, you got to get your credit cleaned up to buy a home. Lenders will look at it even if you have a small credit. I mean, you can have a small collection account of $100, and they'll tell you, hey, until it's paid off, we can't do anything about you. So yes, getting a mortgage loan with a 560, you want to get to at least a 625. Lenders, especially for your first home, if you could get to a 625, you are eligible to get approved for an FHA loan. So that's what you want to do. If you could get to a 625, absolutely. But you got to clear off the negatives first. And you'd be surprised how quickly you get there once you get these negatives off and you get a couple credit cards that boost your score. You'll be amazed. And having an income there definitely helps. But I want to wrap this up a little longer than we expected. I do want to say thank you for everybody who attended this tonight. Truly was helpful. I mean, because I do this all the time, giving these calls and things like that. But to be able to do it all at once, oh, it's a breath of fresh air. So I hope and hope and hope that I was able to address any questions and concerns you may have. If you still have any, definitely contact us. Shoot us a message. Come to the website. Go to the contact us page as I'm doing right now. You go scroll all the way down to the bottom. As it says, drop us a line. If something was not covered, if I didn't get to answer a question that you might have had, I do apologize. Contact me. Enter your information. Send us off. I'll definitely try to respond to you right away. I looks like I'm recording this. I hope that I am. So if you need to rewatch this, or if you join late, and if you want to go back, or if you want to share this with somebody, absolutely. I will have the link up shortly. You can definitely replay it, do the meeting all over. But again, I want to thank you all for attending. And yes, the fact that you want to repair your credit is a great thing. As it says, new solution, new opportunity, brand new start. It's exactly what we're trying to do. Wipe off your negatives so that you can have a new start. Thank you all, and I hope you all have a great night.